Welcome to this introductory webinar for credit professionals. This walkthrough is aimed at providing you a better understanding of how to utilize the IBISWorld Industry Research Database specifically for your role. I'm Isaac Satin, Director of Customer Communications for IBISWorld. If you haven't already done so, I suggest you watch the general overview video, which goes through some best practices, search functionality, and general tips for the IBISWorld platform, as this video will delve into the specifics of how to best utilize the IBISWorld content for credit analysts, underwriters, and anyone who works in the credit department at the bank. For banking specifically, we feature My IBISWorld for Banking, which assists you in finding content that's specific to your role, offering a personalized experience for you. You'll notice right on the left-hand side here some different tools for banking professionals, an ability to expand your knowledge with some additional content that we offer, as well as news and insights of some of the latest information IBISWorld's putting out there. Now, of course, for your role specifically, we want to get into a title. For today, I'm going to use dentist specifically. We'll hop right into that. And you'll see right from the start with industry at a glance for banking, we have all the various roles up here. I've already selected underwriting ahead of time. This is great to give you the information you need as quickly as possible. On this left-hand side, we have various key statistics just to get a general overview and scope of the industry, overall market size, profit margin, number of businesses, size of the employment, and just get some groundwork for information. Now, on the right-hand side is where our information really comes to life with information unique to a credit role. You'll see this risk snapshot where we'll take a quick look at our risk score. This is rated anywhere from 1 to 9, with 9 being the most risky. This is IBISWorld's proprietary methodology. You can go right into the more details here by clicking Learn More, and that takes you into the risk ratings reports as you subscribe to that module. But even if you don't, we'll give you that general score. I like to say anything above 6 or more, you really want to start delving into some of those risk components, because there are aspects that might be challenging for you when you're going through the underwriting process. The next area we highlight for you on this at a glance page is financial ratios and multiples. And I really love what it says right here in terms of the useful tips. Significant differences between your client's balance sheet and industry averages may reveal previously unidentified areas of risk or opportunity. And I love that we're able to comparison last year's data to this year's data and how much change there's been. So again, this is able to take you further into the financial ratios, which we'll touch on in just a few minutes here. The next area is the key external drivers. And it actually marks you if it's a positive driver or a negative driver on the industry. And this is really helpful when pricing a loan and determining a risk premium. Key external drivers are going to vary, but things like exchange rates, commodity prices, consumer attitudes are all measured here, just to name a few. The next area, of course, is one of our favorites, the executive summary. This can be further explored within our industry performance chapter here and our industry outlook chapter, but we're always going to give you that overview quickly of what are some of the main challenges, successes, both in the last 5 years of the industry currently and looking ahead to the future 5 years. And then, of course, we're going to get into some of our key areas that are going to be explored further within the report, the cost structure benchmarks. This is taken from our competitive landscape chapter. But overall, what's the general profit margins on this industry? What are the major expenses that take place here throughout the industry as well? And this will all be delved into further. I want to then jump into for you our products and markets chapter next. I think there's several things here that can be really utilized during the underwriting process. Of course, the supply chain leads things off of understanding, could there be a disruption potentially for this industry itself that impacts its product or service offering? Of course, with COVID, we know that a lot of dental offices shut down. That was outside the supply chain issues, but just one example there. Products and services, I think this is great to really help you understand what are all the different revenue streams that are most important to your client. Is there opportunity potentially that further capital is needed in the future if they're looking to expand any of these areas? So all questions you want to think about when going through the process of determining the creditworthiness of this loan applicant. Then we'll give you that little analysis of each of those different products and service offered there. I also want to show off the major market segmentation. So are they marketing to the biggest potential buyers? Where is their revenue streams coming from in terms of demographics and groups? Are they diversified in their revenue streams? Does it align with what this major market segmentation breakdown could be? So that's another area that you want to delve into and take a closer look at. I'm going to now jump ahead to our geographic breakdown chapter. And I think it's really great to be able to see the lay of the land when looking at a more granular perspective geographically. We can actually hone in on every single state, get an idea of the number of businesses in each state, the growth rates, the overall revenue. And then beyond that, we can actually click on any of these states and get even further into the details of where the dentist offices are located regionally from a county level perspective. This is part of our new state industry report product. So if it's something that you don't currently subscribe to, please be sure to inquire. We're happy to show you more about it, perhaps open up a trial for you and your company. But what I really love about this is just this ability to select a specific county here within the state. And you'll see what happens when I click on a county. It pops up all the relevant data for that county specifically. So just allows you to get an even more granular look than ever before. And again, that's our state industry report collection. Let's go back to the main report now. I'm going to jump ahead into the operating conditions chapter I want to jump to. And this really allows you to hone in on a number of factors when determining whether to approve a loan. So first off, we're going to look at capital intensity. What's the level of capital needed? Is there a lot of infrastructure and need for money to continue to be pumped into the business, or is it more labor intensive? We'll then take a look at future technology needs and changes. Is there rapidly changing technology that would require more influx of capital, or is it pretty steady as they come? Is this more for wages potentially, or just some of the purchases that need to go into the business? We'll then take a look at the revenue volatility. Is it going up and down? Is that something that your bank would have an appetite for? Would there be a greater risk premium on that? And then, of course, regulation and policy and industry assistance. So what are some of these outside aspects that might be influencing the industry that makes it either more challenging for them or maybe a little bit easier as well? That's for you to take a look at and determine. Next chapter we're going to look at is the key statistics chapter. And this is where you're going to get all of your granular data. And we go all the way back 20 years, really go into the past here so you can get a good way of looking at the changes year over year, look at time periods such as the financial crisis, as well as the COVID time period here, and how did that influence and impact the industry. And then, of course, something that all of our credit clients love, the industry financial ratios. So we have over 40 different ratios here. You can actually look at different size of companies here. So depending on the client that you're looking to lend out to, you can actually qualify them in terms of those ranges. You'll see all the different financial ratios here, balance sheet information, some of the liquidity ratios and leverage ratios. So be sure to check that out. It's another area that we're pretty high on. As I mentioned earlier, this is proprietary to IBISWorld. We give a score of anywhere from 1 to 9 for every single industry. And these are dynamic. They're changing month over month because they're influenced by so many external factors on the industry itself. So right now, dentists are a 5.07. We could go into the sensitivity risk, which is the highest one here, and learn a little bit more of what are the sensitivities that they may be a little bit more exposed to. So you'll notice per capita disposable income, unemployment rate, total health expenditure are some of those ones that are spitting out the higher numbers. So you can take a closer look at that and try to understand how is that influencing the bottom line of this business. I encourage you to check out our advanced lending training. In that, we're going to actually dive into some additional tools such as our segment benchmarking and early warning system, which can help with even further granular analysis. Thank you so much for your time. That's your quick overview of using IBISWorld for the credit function. Please be sure to continue to explore the Help Center for further information on how IBISWorld can be utilized for your role. If you have any questions, we're always happy to help out. Thank you so much.